Hey, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to review the tplink Tapo C220. It's a brand new IP cam from tplink. We'll test it, compare it with the C500, and we'll see if we can use it as a webcam. So here it is. It's the typical blue colored boxing for all of their cameras. Most of the equipment is also in the same colored box. And this one's special because it's a 2K QHD resolution camera. And it's called the C220 and it's AI powered. Let's see how good it is. I did review the C500 a few weeks back. I have links up here if you want to check that out. So this one's an indoor camera. It has AI capabilities, baby crying detection, motion detection, can even detect dog barks and cat meows. So let's see how well it works. So 360-degree camera, of course, 2K QHD. It's got a mic built in, night vision, of course, and of course you get an adapter in the box. So this one's a little different from the old TP-Link cameras because they've enabled this software-based AI detection. So that's what makes it a little special. And of course, it's a little more powerful because it's got the QHD resolution. So if you're looking for something really powerful and clear, this is the camera to go for. And since this has got RTSP, it can be used as a webcam too, or you can, have this streamed across apps and website. I've also reviewed the C200 camera, and that one's just a basic IP camera, one of the first few models which I picked up. But this one's probably much more advanced than that one. So let's open up the box and find out what's inside. Yeah, inside it's the same old mess. You have a user guide. Of course, you have your adapter. And this one's a little different from the other TP-Link adapters because this is 9 volts. Rather than the 12 volt adapter which you usually get with other cameras. So this is 9 volts. So remember that you can't use this with other TP-Link cameras if they're 12 volts. This is 9 volt. And you also have mounting screws, given that as well. Let's pick up the camera. I think that's it. Nothing else in the box. This is the camera. I think the basic design remains the same. You have this nice little mesh at the back with TP-Link mentioned. Power cord goes at the back. And in front, a typical Tapo design. But it does have some other text mentioned there. Let's also read what's at the back over here. Nothing much. Again, it's talking about the adapter. And in the front, it does say crystal clear, QHD display. The micro SD slot goes right below the camera's tilt function. And I think design-wise, they're very, very similar. So the microphone slot is just placed below the camera lens. And crystal clear 2K QHD. So that's what's going to make this a more powerful camera. So the power adapter, they've always been generous with their wires. So this one's again about 2 meters in length. So it should be sufficiently long for you to place it high up, or far away from your power sources. So that should be fine. It does use 3-pin plugs, so watch out for that as well. So I'm just going to power it on right away. And so initially there's a red light and then it starts to put on the IR LEDs and then it gives a 360 turn on all sides. Okay, once it's all set, it's going to flash these LEDs, which means you can put it in pairing mode. So there is a micro SD card slot at the bottom. I'm going to add in a memory card just so that we can try out how this records as well. So you just have to push it in. And there's also a reset button in case you want to reset the camera. The camera will reboot again. So let's go to the app. So you just need to have the TP-Link Tapo app installed. I already have 2 cameras like I mentioned, the C500 and C200. So let's add this new device. So you need to select indoor cameras and then you should see C220 somewhere down the line. Yeah, so C220 is right there. And the lights are blinking, so you can go ahead with the pairing. Oh, and by the way, this camera is compatible with Alexa and your Google Home devices. So you can just pair it up with Alexa and you can ask for, a quick review of who's at the door. And it should be able to throw in that if you have a Alexa show, for example. Anyway, once you're all done, you can actually opt for the cloud plan if you want to, but I haven't. So you can skip this section and directly use the micro SD card for recording. There are firmware updates. You can update the camera if you think that the software is useful. And now it does give you some wizard as to how to start this camera. On the first glance, it does look like a normal, camera. But then just going through the app very quickly, I mean, this is the same app you use for all of the TP-Link cameras. So you do have this option to set viewpoints when you tilt and scan. and you can save these for future references. So you just have to click the button and it will take you to that location. So that option is here. There's also a new function called the panorama. You can create a path where it will take a photograph from one end to the other end. It can also take a 360 camera, whatever the camera is looking at, it can take a photo of all of those. So those are some things new in this particular camera. And obviously this has got tons of options in terms of trackability, so we'll come to that as well. So you can call the device. So if you think that you want to speak to someone on the other end, this is even if you're far away from your camera, it can work via mobile network. You can actually make a call. So that's a great option which is already there from a long time back, and I think this was there even on the C200. So this one's also got that function. So once you come into the device settings, you'll see that the detection has so many more additional options as compared to some of the previous cameras that I had. So baby crying, glass break, dog bark, and cat mews. So everything is new in this, and it can do a lot more than your old TP-Link cameras. So we'll test this for sure. So I did make a short video on how it works, but I'll still have that included in this video so that you can see how well that thing works. So motion detection, motion tracking is a common feature. There's also something called as line crossing detection. So you can probably let it warn you if someone's actually crossed a particular boundary. So that option is also new in this one. And let's see, it's also showing up for a firmware upgrade. Hardware acceleration sometimes does give a problem, but I think this one looks to be fine. There is a indicator LED which you can disable. So the green light will go off if you think that you don't want anyone to know the camera is working. That can be disabled as well. Okay, I'm going to test this for just for your benefit. So I'm going to make sure that I play all these sounds and see if this can actually detect it. I'm next to the camera, but I'm going to play these sounds. So it looks like all of the effects actually worked, and the camera was able to detect all of them together. So I think they've done a good job in terms of having this kind of a AI feature on this camera. Let's move on to the video quality testing. So this one's very simple. I'm not doing any professional tests here, so I'm just going to see and judge. And I'll let you be the judge as well. So before that, I want to just make sure that I've gone and set the camera right. I mean, all the detection settings are actually right. And I just want to show you the video quality. So this one's taken at about 6 p.m. and I think it really kind of looks good in terms of the quality I'm looking at. Nothing seems to be wrong. I mean, this is with the street lights on, and it does show you how well it actually detects a car and the motion. So all this is pretty visible, and you can also make calls. Like I mentioned, I'm just pressing the buttons randomly just to see how it reacts, and seems to be okay. There again, it's detected a vehicle and it shows that it's actually moving, and there's a box which tracks that as well. So I like that. So this is a comparison between the Tapo C500 and this camera, which is the C220. So the one on the left is your C500 and the one on the right is your C220. Of course, the one on the left has a much wider lens because that's a more advanced camera, C500, although the resolution is actually 1080p. This one's a 2K display on the 220, but then the field of view is much more narrower. So that's one of the main differences I found on these cameras. So in the mornings, I think the image quality is really good. It's on par with probably a basic mobile phone. So I just want to show you a panning view. across the street. There is some sort of stutter whenever you see a movement going on. So I think this is typical of most of the Tapo cameras. So it's kind of stitching together a lot of images. And then, I saw this particular incident that happened. So there was a guy who was trying to stick or place some, placards inside everyone's houses. Let's watch what happens. Let me know what you guys think about the image quality in the meantime. By the way, this video is a little funny. You should watch this. Also showing you how the app is actually tracking this person. And there goes the bike. I mean, he could have just crossed the road. He was just too lazy. Anyway, so this seems to have a really good sensor in it. I mean, the kind of quality of the image you're getting right now is quite nice. But when there is a faster movement, I did notice that you can't track the number plates, and there is a slight stutter in terms of the image quality. But at any given point, I can tell you that if it's a still image, the quality is very high. And this is running at 2K resolution right now. So you do have an option to downgrade it to 360, but this is right now running at 2K. And of course, there are infrared LEDs built in. So in the night, you do get a noisy but good enough image for you to kind of track everything. Yeah, so like I mentioned, there is a person walking with a little kid there, and you can see that it's not the smoothest image you can see. I mean, it's not really clearly playing a video file. It's more of like images stitched together. Again, you really can't see the cyclist's face because it's too fast for the camera. Same with those guys on the bike. So I think that's one flaw I noticed with this camera. If you're looking to track something which is moving fast, you may not be able to get anything. This one's the C500, and now this one's a more versatile camera. You can install it outside, and it is IP rated, so it can survive rainfall. And the best part is, I think this looks better in terms of how it works in the night. I'll just show you a side-by-side comparison. Check out the way the cars went. I think the colors were more accurate on the 220, but the brightness was more on the 500. So slowed it down here just to see how good the clarity is. Look at the car color on the C220. It's much clearer, but the overall image is brighter on the C500. Let's see another example over here with this silver color car. Just try and see the driver in both cars. You'll see it's much clearer on the C220. How does it do with the webcam capability? Because it's got RTSP, so you can use, you can create an account and you can run this because of that protocol. So I've done a video on this in the past. So you'll have to create an account. It's a very temporary account. You just put a username and a password. It does warn you that people can sneak into this. So use it only if you really want it. So you just put your test name and password here. I'm using the same password and the same username. So test 1, 2, 3. Even the username needs a number, so just make sure that you put a number for the username as well. And that's it. I mean, it's created an RTSP account. So click on create. So once you say, okay, there's no notification. And the next step is to find out the IP address of the camera. Just go to settings and you can see IP address mentioned right over there. Note this down. And once you do that, all you need to do is just open VLC player on any other computer and click on the network option right on top. And you will see a URL here, which is RTSP, // and 192. That's your IP address, which I spoke about. Then / and say stream 1, right? So all you need to do is just put that IP address, which you noted down from your camera settings, and just say OK. And then it'll ask you for the username and password that you created in the app, in the camera account settings. So once you do these two steps, well, you just put your password and you can have a ready webcam running in no time. And I think the image quality is really good. This was with a warm white bulb running, and then I switched to white. There's a slight, flicker there. I think that's probably because of the lighting, but I think the image quality is good. And the best part is it's got IR, so if you enable IR, it'll work in complete darkness as well. So this IP cam is probably the future. It's going to get better after this, and with this clarity, you can use it as a nice webcam. It is a good security cam. It's got good AI capabilities, a very fast app. I think it's a good camera overall. I definitely recommend it for indoors. And that's my review for the C220. I hope you liked the video. Please hit the like button, subscribe. Do watch out for more such videos. I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.